Grim. Fui chevaio etsa shall pageret amas maini okra. Hi everyone, we're delighted to have one of Ireland's finest songwriters here today in Carlingford Heritage Centre. He has toured across the world as a member of the Sands family, and he's had his songs translated into many languages and is very well known as a radio presenter on BBC. To play a few tunes for us today with his friend Nuala Curran on cello all the way from Warren Point. From Rostrevor, here is Colum Sands.
Saw them on the streets of Clones with a flagpole long ago. A white-haired man with a fiddle, his brother had an old banjo. They're blind, said the woman beside us, but by God them boys can play. That's the swallow's tale, said my father, and the music took us all away. And if you stop to listen, they're playing for you and I, and their music sings along the strings, between the earth and the sky, between the earth and the sky. Maggie was a travelling singer, you never heard a voice so strong. When she sang in Newrymarket, the whole town heard her song. And her voice was known from London to the streets of Baltimore, for she sang her songs along a road that was often walked before. And if you stop to listen, she's playing for you and I, and her music sings along the strings, between the earth and the sky, between the earth and the sky. Beside Cologne Cathedral, a crowd had gathered round. There was singing, there was laughing, and we hurried towards the sound. You said that's Klaus the fiddler, he plays here every day. Left the orchestra behind him so that everyone could hear him play. And if you stop to listen, he's playing for you and I, and his music sings along the strings, between the earth and the sky, between the earth and the sky. On the streets of Sarajevo, where death walks every day, Smilovich takes his cello and he slowly starts to play. And the people gather round him in the spirit of the marketplace. His music brings both tears and smiles, but it changes every face. And if you stop to listen, he's playing for you and I, and his music sings along the strings, between the earth and the sky, between the earth and the sky. And the music echoes all around, no matter where I stray, like the panpipes from the Andes on Grafton Street today. And some will give them money, and some will ask them why, as the music fills the lonesome place between the earth and the sky. And if you stop to listen, they're playing for you and I, and their music sings along the strings, between the earth and the sky, between the earth and the sky. That's a song called Buskers, following the inspiration of musicians who carried the music across the miles and the generations at a time when it may not have been all that safe or popular to do it. It's great to be invited here to this concert with Zoe and John at a time when it has got a bit dangerous for musicians to travel and audiences to gather. And maybe at a time like this, it's the magic of music that can kind of help us to come through these times. Nuala, who you just heard on cello there, and myself came across from the far shore. We live over in Restrever and Warren Point. And this song is very much inspired by the shores of Carlingford Loch and the whole idea of people on the move. There's so many people on the move at this time, just trying to find a better place to live, a safer place to live. And I wrote the song. I was doing some concerts in the Middle East, and I was looking out of a phone box one day in the Negev desert, a remote place, looking out through the sand-blasted glass of the phone box. And I noticed on the wires that were connecting my voice to home, the wires were lined with those little immigrants that have been coming from North Africa to Europe for hundreds, thousands of years longer than people. The swallows on that amazing journey they make over the mountains and the oceans, tiny little bodies, and they come this close to the place where they were born, to home. And I know Nuala and myself, when we come home, you know that thing when you come home from a journey abroad, you sometimes come to a spot. It could be a landmark, it could be a mountain, it could be a river, it could be a house, a pub, anything. But at that moment you say, I'm home now. And this song is with that idea of being home. Come into Warren Point and you turn left, you see Carlingford Loch, the mountains of the Cooley Peninsula where we are right now. On one side, the Mourne Mountains, on the other side, like arms reaching out to welcome you home. And that's the moment when I would feel I'm home. And I was wondering about those swallows as I made the phone call, when they come to the end of their journey, the ones who are coming to Restrever, does one swallow turn to the other and say, we're home now? So this song is for all the people who are trying to find home at this moment. It's called Turn the Corner, and if you're sitting at home or feeling at home, you might feel even more at home if you try this little chorus. You can sing it without even thinking about words. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da da da. Up the mountain, dawn is breaking. The artist of the morning painting red. In the village, some are waking as another day begins to lift its head. In the forest, birds are singing. The oak trees know the best songs come in May. Flying northward from the desert, swallows sweep towards the summer where they'll stay. Turn the corner, see the water, and the mountains reach towards you like old friends. Then mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, home is waiting for you where this journey ends. Da 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 da, da 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 da. Giant Murphy left Restrever, a mighty man, he stood 8 feet and more. Travelled Europe with a circus, he smelt the crowd and he heard the lions roar. In Marseille, I saw the circle. His dying breath was whispering for Killowen. Now he sleeps here in the valley. Even giants have to find a way back home. Turn the corner, see the water, and the mountains reach towards you like old friends. Then mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, home is waiting for you where this journey ends. Da 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 da, da 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 da. I met a miner in Mount Isa, and we spoke of home 10,000 miles away. He said, I'm searching for the treasure that is hidden here beneath Australian clay. Sometimes I dream when I am digging, I get closer to the place I miss each day. In this earth here, red as sunset, when September evenings reach across the bay. Turn the corner, see the water, and the mountains reach towards you like old friends. Then mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, home is waiting for you where this journey ends. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Children leave us in the morning. In search of work they travel from this shore. But in the evening we are waiting on the footstep that we know outside the door. In the forest, birds are singing. The oak trees know the best songs come in May. Flying southward for the desert, swallows sweep towards the winter where they'll stay. Turn the corner, see the water, and the mountains reach towards you like old friends. Then mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, home is waiting for you where this journey ends. Da 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 da. It's great to be playing in a beautiful church like this here in Carlingford. We'll sing a song that kind of grew around the idea of churches and two dogs as well that used to live in Hilltown, a little village as you go into the Mourne Mountains. I wrote an article for Die Zeit newspaper in Germany about hope and things getting better in the north. And I thought in this summer, when we have lost the wonderful and inspiring man, John Hume, it might be a good idea to sing this song. And it kind of explains itself. But two dogs that I used to see in Hilltown on either side of the street snarling across at each other for years. They weren't big, dangerous-looking dogs. They were just lapsed sheepdogs, non-practicing sheepdogs. that didn't seem to have any other agenda other than snarling at each other. And they never seemed to move from their positions. And it got me thinking, you could go through your whole life rooted to one place and blaming all your problems on one other source. And the longer you spend rooted to that position, the less time you have, I suppose, to shine your own light, you might say. So this very strange song came out of it, and it's called Two Angry Dogs. Two angry dogs live in this town. Across the street they snarl and frown. For many years it has been so. Their masters taught them all they know. Their masters taught them all they know. 3 churches here all say amen. There's one for us and 2 for them. Cathedral sky and mountain wall for those who never go at all. For those who never go at all. On every church there is a tower with 4 fist clocks to tell the hour. And so we live beneath their chimes, 12 different versions of our times, 12 different versions of our times. 5 clocks are fast, 6 clocks are slow. The 12th on it just doesn't go. At 9:10 it died one night. Yet twice each day that clock is right. Twice each day that clock is right. As far as I can tell, most people here get on quite well. They stop to talk, exchange their sins. They dream their dreams, take out their bins. They dream their dreams, take out their bins. 2 angry dogs live in this town. Across the street they snarl and frown. In their own time they'll get along. I live in hope and sing this song. I live in hope and sing this song. We're going to finish off with a song, and it's called Songbridge, and it's probably fairly apt in a session like this where we've come across from County down to County Louth, and we're delighted to be joined and this song by Zoe and John. So it's kind of a song bridge in more ways than one. But we look across from County Down to County Louth, which is in the kind of disappearing EU. And the song looks at how we can bridge towards each other in different ways. And this guitar has a special significance for the song. It belonged to my wife Barbara's grandmother. And we have photographs of this guitar taken in 1920, 100 years ago. Back in the late 1930s, just as today, there were people talking about making their countries great again. And Augusta, who owned this guitar, and her husband August, didn't really enthuse much about the plans for making Germany great again at that time. And when the Nazis came to take her husband off to fight in the war, she ran out at them from the kitchen with a bread knife and chased them away. But of course, they came back, and she and her husband paid the price, and they are mentioned in the last verse of the song. But their song and their spirit and their story lives on in the wood and in the music of this guitar. So we'll finish with this one, Songbridge. When the water is so wide, you can't see the other side, take the Songbridge. When the one you miss the most is furthest from the coast, take the Songbridge. And may kindness be the art in the garden of your heart on the Songbridge. When you're tired wheeling light up the tunnel of the night, take the Songbridge. When you can't put out of sight things you never got quite right, take the Songbridge. And may kindness be the art in the garden of your heart on the Songbridge. When you've seen the judge turn pale underneath the horse's tail, take the Songbridge. Take the tail that made the bow play the fiddle soft and low on the Songbridge. And may kindness be the art in the garden of your heart on the Songbridge. When you've played the old guitar for two lovers lost in war, take the Songbridge. And high above the strife, may we find the joy of life on the Songbridge. And may kindness be the art in the garden of your heart on the Songbridge.
So Colum, you've interviewed me many times over the years, and I'm delighted to be able to turn the tables now. Maybe you could tell us about life on the road and what it means to you to bring your music to other countries.
Well, it's a wonderful thing to do, and I've almost forgotten in the last few months what it's like, because tours this year to Australia and Germany have been cancelled already. But it makes you appreciate all the more when you are sort of grounded, what a wonderful thing it is to be able to do, going around different places, different countries. And the kind of the magical power of songs, as you know yourself as a musician, travelling yourself and John, you sometimes get into a car in the morning, you're driving all day, you arrive at the venue and you're maybe the most tired person in the room. Everyone else has come in fresh and ready for the concert. But then you begin playing and you see something happening to an audience. There's a kind of transformation comes over the room and the whole evening, and people who are looking maybe a bit worried or nervous or tense at the beginning of the evening, their faces begin to relax and they're maybe smiling or laughing depending on the kind of program you're doing. But either, whatever way you're doing it, there's no doubt that they have changed in the course of that evening. And you too have, not just from playing, but as a result of the energy that you get back from them. And that's something that always, no matter how tired I am, after a day's travelling, that always just, I'm sure most musicians would say the same, it just totally recharges the batteries and more.
Uplifts you at the end of a concert. And what about highlights from being abroad? Is there anything that would stand out for you?
It's very hard to say. Some of the most memorable moments, musical moments, probably were in very small places. I think the most amazing moment in my life in music probably was, there's an old fiddle player down in Waterford, Ned Walsh, I hope I've got his name right. And he used to come to a pub where I was playing with my brother Tommy. And he didn't know our names. He called us the Stands. He thought we were the Stands, which is fair enough. But and I used to try to play an old fiddle at the time, a sort of a black-coloured fiddle. And he used to call me the Black Fiddle. When he would see me, there's the Black Fiddle. And we would go back to his house now and again, and it was like an old house with smoke flying everywhere. And there'd be songs and tunes and so on. But then we went down one time to Waterford and we heard that he wasn't well. He was in hospital, and we went into the hospital to visit him, myself and Tommy, and we asked him would he play a tune. He was lying in the bed and he looked very, as people often do in the hospital, they sort of seemed to shrink, and the blankets were over him, but he had his hat on, which was kind of unusual. But he sat up and said, "God, it's the Stands and the Black Fiddle." And I said, "Will you give us a tune?" And he said he would, and he sat up in the bed and he played the fiddle, and as he played, the years fell off his shoulders and the whole ward changed. He became a different man. Yeah. And so did the people around him. And although I've played in, like yourself, in some amazing spaces, that was one that I'll always remember as one of the highlights of what music could do. Yeah. That's incredible. But I've been lucky enough to play in all kinds of venues, and big and small, and I still enjoy that very much, whether it's, a few thousand people, or like today here, we're just in a very small group. But there's a magic in it, and a space like this. So many musicians, thanks to yourselves, have played in here. You come in here, and you just think of all, forgetting even about the whole history of the church, which is probably incredible too. But you think of all do those notes ever decay, really? They decay to our ears, but do they really stop? And how much of what has happened in here is inside these walls still? So you come in and you kind of tap into that power as well. So even if there's no audience, it's just a very sympathetic crew here with us today, but it's still a magical place to play in.
I know, it really is. It's beautiful here. Yeah. I know Martin O'Connor has a joke about playing in this big, massive cathedral somewhere, and he says if you go there now, you can still hear the notes ringing from their concert, which is probably true. And you mentioned Tommy, and I know it must be very important for you to be able to tour with your family. How does that feel, I suppose, being on tour? Do you know it's very unusual setup?
It is. Because we've always been doing it, we don't really think much about how unusual it is. But indeed, we were meant to play here in April of this year, and
That's right.
for all the people that might have been coming along to that concert or had hoped to come to all the ones this year, we're as disappointed as you are, but we hope we'll see you again in safer and better times. It's great. I mean, we've been playing music since we were very young, and we'll get together about once, maybe twice a year to tour. And in many ways, we're catching up on what each other has been doing in the past year. It's wonderful, and because there was no German tour this year, it's probably like your spring series or your summer series as well.
Yeah.
When it doesn't happen, it's like a milestone in your year is taken away. It's like as if Christmas didn't happen, and you kind of thinking, what time year is it?
What month is it?
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so, but it's always great, and because of COVID, we kind of set up the next tour in Germany. We didn't chance 2021 because we're not sure. Well, no one's sure.
Yes, no one knows.
So I think the next one is going to be 2022 if all goes well.
So you'll have Christmas that year.
Yeah, we'll celebrate Christmas. Maybe we'll all get together for Christmas.
Well, Colum, I have to say thank you so much for coming to join us here today. It's been a pleasure to have you, and to Nuala as well. Thanks so much.
Thanks. It's been a joy to play for you, and keep up your great work here in hosting music.
Thank you.
I'm going to play a couple of sets of tunes here, tunes that I've learned down through the years. And I started off there with a tune called the Duke of Fife's Welcome to D-Side, and then a tune called the Turnpike. So kind of associate those from years back when I was just starting to learn the fiddle. So this is a tune I learned more recently that I really like. It's called Alec McConnell's Waltz, and I learned it from Kieran and Wayne and Aidan O'Donnell and Damien McGeehan, who you know maybe better together as Fiddle. And I've been lucky enough a few times to play with them, to fill in when one of the lads can't be there. And this is one of the tunes I learned for those gigs, which I really like. And I'm going to play another waltz afterwards that I learned from the playing of Martin McGinley. So a couple of waltzes. Going to play a couple of jigs now. So I'm going to play 3 jigs, I think, that I learned from the playing of Paul O'Shaughnessy years back. So 2 of them were from Francie Jarrett O'Byrne, a great fiddle player from Kilcar. And then the other one, Bundle and Go, I found out years later, is one of the oldest tunes in circulation that goes all the way back to the 1600s. It's originally a Scottish tune, like many of them, and then it's landed over here and found its way into the Donegal repertoire. So thing with the first one I'm going to play is it's in the Edward Bunting collection in Belfast. So I think it was played by British military regiments at the end of the 1700s in Ireland, and then made its way into fiddle playing repertoire. So a couple of nice old tunes here. is really old tune called Evelyn Arun. And I learned this from the singing of Kitty Shanley from Teelan, who was a really big influence on me when I was a teenager. So when I was old enough to go and start spending periods of time on my own in Donegal, I would cycle up to her house, and she was old at the time. You know, she was in her 80s, but she used to lilt old bits of tunes and give me tapes of old fiddle players from the area. And she was just an amazing woman. And she always would sing this song, and she'd love to have a fiddle player play the melody along with her. So give us a go.
Well, a lot of you will know that Carlingford is a gorgeous place for cafes and bars and little shops, but this is my favourite one in Carlingford, in the heart of the village, and I'm delighted to be here in Garrett Mallon's craft house with Garrett Mallon, goldsmith and designer. Garrett, thanks very much for having us here today.
I'm delighted to have you here.
Thank you. And can you tell us what was the inspiration behind the shop? What made you start this?
Well, I've been in the jewellery business for 34 years now, and I moved to Omeath maybe it was about 20 years ago, and I've been working away in my workshop and I wanted to make myself more public. So I decided that 6 years ago that I thought I would have a shop with my workshop in the middle of it, and then I would have craft around it. So that's where the idea came. I just wanted to make myself more public in the area. Because a lot of people thought I did something else.
I know.
You know. So eventually, when we found the place here in Carlingford, the idea came that it would be a bit of a tourist attraction, that people could actually see me working. You know, and they can come in and talk to me, and it's a place of conversation.
I know.
You know, and then we started off with 40 makers, and today, 6 years later, we have over 100 makers within the shop.
Wow.
And the makers are from all over Ireland.
So north and south of the border.
Yeah, but there's no borders, no borders in craft on the island. But the ethos of the shop is that it all has to be made on the island of Ireland.
Yes.
You know, some people might have things designed and made somewhere else. You know, but all the products are made here on the island, which is a great thing to do, you know.
And all of your work, of course, is done here in your workshop on site.
And through the window there, you know. There's some days that I'm working away on pieces and I look up and I have all these faces staring in at me, you know. But it started off, it was unusual to start off because I would have been working on my own, but now I'm used to.
You're used to an audience.
Yes, I am. After a while, you know. Yeah.
And I know, like a lot of your pieces, I'm a big fan of your work, and a lot of your pieces are kind of 3D based, aren't they? Like you have actual little dolmens in your.
Oh, I do. Yes, I have a range. It's all based on summer days, and it's all things that I did in my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, and the dolmen, we would have gone to the dolmen. There's one here in County Louth.
The Pro-League dolmen.
Yes, that's right. And then I would have spent a lot of time up in Donegal in a place called St John's Point.
Yeah.
And I have a piece there called Shining Light, so it's the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And it's I have other ones that walking in forest, so there's one called Tall Trees. So I've loads of little different ones that and you know
that's your range.
But that's just one range of many ranges.
I know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, I'd be inspired by a lot about nature, songs.
Yes.
You know, like I have a lovely one that's inspired by it's a Johnny Doohan song.
Yes.
The Voyage.
Oh, I know.
Which Christy Moore
made famous.
Well, yeah, he sang it for years and still singing it. But I had it played at my wedding.
Oh.
And I was inspired through that.
Yeah.
So
that's really lovely, the mix of the music and art.
Yeah, and I was very bold. I sent Johnny down a few pieces of my jewellery and said I was inspired by your work, and then I cheekily asked him, can I use the lyrics along with the piece? So each piece comes along with
that is beautiful.
With the lyrics.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah,
and like for me being a local coming from here, I think it's really important to have this kind of gallery space, you know, that people can come in and connect with the art. Was that part of your vision?
Yeah, in Louth there is a huge craft scene.
Yeah.
I would be involved in a group called Louth Craft Mark.
Yeah.
And I think there's over 50 of us.
Yeah.
And in the shop I might have 20 or 30 people from Louth.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible, isn't it?
And it is a place to showcase them, because there's nowhere really that showcase quality in this area. So
and just to promote the local artists, it's just so important, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
To give them that kind of a bit of a shelf space even, or a wall space.
Yeah, well the thing is, I run it like a shop, so I'm buying the work off them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a gallery would take your work.
Yes, and take commission.
Where I buy it and I sell it on.
Yeah,
you know, and the thing is that they're getting their.
That's true support, yeah.
It is, yeah, because I'm actually buying it off them. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Like I have a local guy there. He harvests the seaweed from the ocean. Out there in Cooley.
Yes.
And Sea Remedies. And he's a local guy from Dundalk.
That's fantastic. And we have some of your works here. I know over the last year you did a kind of a collaboration with the Irish Heart Foundation.
I did, yeah. This is one of the pieces. You know, this is a pendant, so I've based it on, so you've got the little gold heart in the middle of it.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, well, I have two sons that have heart conditions, and this is my way of giving something back.
Oh my goodness.
So a percentage of the sales go back to the Irish Heart Foundation, because they've been extremely good to us.
And if you were making a piece like that, how long would that take? I don't mean in terms of creation, obviously that can take many, many years, but I mean coming up with the concept. But actually just to make the piece. Yeah,
well, the thought of that, I have been toying with that idea for years, because I wanted to give them back something. But this piece, I don't just make one piece on its own. I make batches of pieces, because it's quicker for me to do this process and then move on to it. So
of course.
So like I could work on 10 and it would take me. I'd be working on them for a week. You know, that sort of way. So
Wow, it's just amazing.
yeah.
So we'd love to have a little look inside your workshop if you wouldn't mind showing us
Oh, no problem
around.
at all. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Garrett, thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure that you came along to see all the lovely craft that we have in Ireland.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And now we welcome to the song Zoe Conway, brilliant fiddle player and good neighbour, and obviously John's wife and partner in crime. And it's perfect. Thank you for joining us, because this is shockingly a happy Irish love song.
Yay!
I know you're stunned, but it is lockdown and we need all the help we can get. And if you grew up listening to Irish music like I did, you know that love songs are a very sad and desolate, lonely place. And usually by the fourth verse, the woman inevitably wishes that she was dead. It's really awful, especially when you're 5 listening to this stuff. It doesn't give you much hope. But it's an equal opportunity land of suffering, the Irish love song, because by the fourth verse, the man also wishes that she was dead. So it's good. It's good egalitarian love over here. But I wrote this lyric because I wanted to sing about happy love. And this takes place on a small island off the coast of Ireland called Carrick-a-Reid. And I was inspired to this lyric by Wallace Hood from Belfast, who used to go courting to Carrick-a-Reid before it became a big tourist attraction. Couples went there from Belfast because they could have privacy in wild Atlantic waves. Carrick-a-Reid.
I'll walk the miles from Ballintoy, no shining moon to light my way, across the fields of Leary Bay and Barrow Bridge where my love waits. The fishermen lie in their beds, the salmon spawn in Moyle's blue sea, and you lie there upon the grass, waiting for me on Carrick-a-Reid. One step and two, hold tight, let go. 20 and 4, hold tight, let go. I'm nearly there, let go, let go. I will find you where you lie, and steal in soft under your coat. We will tell our stories, love, and sing our songs out every night. One step and two, hold tight, let go. 20 and 4, hold tight, let go. I'm nearly there, let go, let go. Your sweet kiss will bring the rest. Your mouth on my mouth, wave on wave. We will meet the sea's loud roar. No better way to cheat the grave. One step and two, hold tight, let go. 20 and 4, hold tight, let go.
Thank you, Kathy. Same to you.